Here's today's recipe. You're welcome to stop the video and take a picture if you'd like. Hi, welcome to the Baking Club with Marion. So, I've already got my hands washed. I got my counter ready. I have my napkins right here, hopefully, well, paper towels. I hope they don't fall on the floor. Otherwise, I'll have to get more paper towels, but that's okay. They're not too far away. Let me show you what I have ready. I have my ingredients, my things that I need, like a cutting board and my knife. Ooh. All right. So, lasagna today. Let me show you how it goes. Don't pre-cook the noodles. It's okay. So I happened to come across lasagna noodles that are whole wheat. So I bought them, and I think those will be okay for my diabetes, even though they've got the whole wheat. It's just white flour stuff I can't do. And so I normally use something else for noodles. I found that I could use zucchinis, and after I cut off the end, I would cut thin strips of zucchini. Now, I'm not going to show you that right now because I'm going to save this for another day. Or I could use mushrooms. And same thing, if I sliced them thin, I could use them as the noodles, which was really nice. And then I also discovered that if I really, and we love mushrooms, so this was no hardship on us, I could use the mushrooms as the meat. I would put it in the food processor and blend it all up, not till it was totally runny, just, chop really fine. And then, did I say mixer? Food processor. Did I say that? Well, I've said it again. Anyway, food processor, blend it all up, and that became the meat. Today, I'm using meat just to show you guys, okay? So let me put these out of the way. Kind of, sort of. I have my pan and spatula ready. Okay, so that was the noodles, and we also need grated Parmesan cheese. That's good enough for me. It's already done. I love it. Yay. We also need to have ready the grated, shredded mozzarella cheese, 3/4 pounds. We like cheese, so we might use more, like a pound. Anyway, so I happen to have some cheese that was already done. If you need to collect some of this stuff, then go ahead and do it. If you need to shred your mozzarella cheese, just pause the video and shred. Okay, I'm going on. Hopefully you paused and shredded your mozzarella cheese. We also need 2 beaten eggs and cottage cheese ready to go. I've got it here, and I'll show you how to do that right now. Okay, so I have my bowl, I have my cottage cheese, I have my 1 cup, because that's how much we need. 1 cup, 2 beaten eggs, and 1 cup of cottage cheese. So I just crack them open, put them in. Throw that in my bowl for later, for, not recycling, what's it called? Composting, that's what it is. And look, I have a paper towel I can use. Oh, yay. I didn't get out a fork, so I just beat those eggs. I get my cottage cheese, 1 cup of it. Now, if you want, like it says in the recipe, you are welcome to use just ricotta cheese, which is what most lasagna recipes want. Okay, so there, this is done, goes out of my way in the sink. I hope I don't need it again. I do that a lot, where I put into the sink something that it's like, oh, I still need that. Oh well, all right, good, did that. Now, I'm gonna mix that up. Good. And you can just go down your list and see what all we need, okay? And maybe get it ready. So there, that's all I need for my mozzarella cottage cheese and egg mixture. I get so excited. I say all sorts of interesting things. Hopefully I catch it and correct it afterwards. So that is all ready. All my stuff that I need ready is ready, except, oh, I do. I have my 1/4 cup for my Parmesan cheese. Well, that's good. Now we're going to brown together 3 things: the ground beef, the onions, and the garlic, right? So I'm not going to start my beef until I've got my onion chopped. So I figured I'd do it right here, right now, today for you. I cut off one end. And if I go too fast, please just stop the video. Do it a little at a time so that you are not cutting your fingers. Now, after saying that out loud, watch me do something stupid and cut my finger. If that happens, I'll pause and come back after I get a Band-Aid and everything and wash stuff off. Okay, good. And I just go like that to take this off. It looks like I'm using red onions. Usually I'm using yellow onions. I guess I didn't notice what color I had today, but that's all right. Onion, love it. And sometimes if I don't have regular onion, I might use something like, I don't know, whatever I have that tastes oniony, such as green onion. That's it, the small green onion, if I happen to have a ton of that. But I got an onion. Here we go. So I slice it in half. That makes it easy to go like that. It stays right there. Now I'm going to strip it that way. Cut into strips like that. Okay? Okay, keeping my fingers out of the way. And then I go through here like that. It's going to make those onions become chunks, which is exactly what I want. Not my fingers. Okay, well, that was getting closer to my fingers than I wanted. There we are with the first bit of that. I just kind of go like that to kind of separate it since I'm going to be cooking it with the meat. Okay, very good. Now I'm going to do the other one. Keeping my fingers back. Being careful. Good. Oh my goodness, and there go my eyes. I hope I can watch what I'm doing. As in the onion is now stinging my eyes. I've read different things. How to cut onions without it burning your eyes, without crying, something like that. And I forgot what they said. Too bad, huh? Cut it underwater? That can't be right. I can't cut things while I'm underwater. People at the pool wouldn't let me bring an onion and a knife to the pool. Kidding. Okay. I think they meant put it in the sink while you're doing it. Then all my onion would flow away. So apparently I didn't read it, whatever I read, very well. But you're welcome to do that. How to cut onions without your eyes burning. I always figure it this way. Let my eyes water, it gets them nice and clean. Okay, so I've got my onion ready. Usually I happen to have minced garlic on hand, right? So I just use that, usually. But today I wanted to be sure to show you if you had a real garlic and how to cut that. Okay, first of all, I'm going to take it out of the peel. And garlic is so fun. Okay, it's not fun. For me. I mean, doable, but not fun. So now I have all of these itty bitty little, very floaty bits of peeling from the garlic. Okay, good. There we go. Now I need another one. That one was easier to peel than most. It's kind of old. I mean, it's already growing. So I'm going to get another one because it calls for 2 garlics, 2 cloves of garlic. Did you see how I did that? I bet you didn't. Let me do it again for you. Okay. So the cloves of garlic are in here. You just break it off, and there you go, a clove of garlic. Now, my husband and I like garlic, we like onions, so I'm actually going to take another clove because this feels so small, looks so small. Okay, so all of this hairy stuff needs to go away. Good. That's it for that. Okay, how I usually deal with the garlic is I'm going to cut off the ends. The ends where it's growing, or the tip of it, and then the end of it where it's, you know, like that. Okay? You can see it. See? I'm going to cut off the tip. I'm going to cut off the end. Okay? So that's ready. So, cut off the tip. Cut off the end. Now this one happens to have a bad spot, so I'm going to cut off the bad spot too. Cut off the bad spot. There we go. Okay. Now this still has stuff on it, and I will just peel that off. Okay. Cut off the ends. Boy, I must really like cloves. I mean garlic. There we go. Okay. Cut off the ends, cut off the tip. Go away. Thank you. No. Off. Off my knife. See, it sticks to you. Garlic. I once was chopping tons and tons and tons of garlic for a recipe I was following. Okay, not tons. And after a while, everything just sticks. So I think garlic needs to be a glue. Maybe they use it in a glue. Okay, so to chop, I can do a couple of things. Careful of fingers, and I just chop it in half, and then I just kind of there we go. It comes out to these little itty bitty tiny pieces. Again, chop it longwise. And then I just go Don't you love these descriptive words? Yeah, okay, whatever. All right, very good. This one is kind of a small piece, so I'm just gonna, do that. That's good. And same thing, that one's a small piece. I'm just gonna chop it a little bit. Now, I gotta show you this. That's what you can do, unless you have a garlic press, which is awfully fun. Throw that puppy in there, squeeze it hard, and the garlic comes out. Now, because I only had one in there, didn't come out very much. Usually I put several in here, but I wanted to show you how to chop garlic if you just didn't happen to have one of these. So, well, it didn't all get squished through, so I'm going to just squeeze it again. And there we go. Good enough. And I just scrape it clean. Okay. Sometimes it's easier to just chop the garlic than to have a garlic press or something like that. And look, it is just sticking to me. That's what I think. Garlic. Do they make glue out of garlic? Somebody's going to have to look that up. Do they use garlic to make glue? Now, I've never smelled it like that, but man, if you're ever stuck for needing glue, you don't have any at home, see if this will work for you, because man, I'm telling you, it just gets all over and sticks to you like glue. All right. So there you go. We've chopped the garlic. I'm going to throw it in with the onion because really that's all I need to do when I brown my meat. Okay. Very good. So I got that taken care of. I can toss all of these little garlic ends and stems and whatever. Little peels, good. All right, very nice. All right, so it's ready. The next thing that I have to do is I have to have my ground beef ready too. my ground beef package came more than 1 to 2 pounds, or it's probably more than 2 pounds. So I actually have half of it. I think it was a three pounder. You guys don't need to know all that. Basically, I have my meat ready. So I have my quantity. I also have my big old fry pan. I need a big fry pan because in a minute, after the ground beef is done, not quite in a minute, that's when the tomato sauce is all going to go in there and it's going to simmer and have fun like that. Okay, my ground beef, I don't know where I got it, but it tends to stick to the ground. The ground beef tends to stick to it because there's not a lot of fat in the ground beef that I have. So I'm just going to spray the bottom a little bit and hope that that helps it not to stick as much. But on the other hand, if I pay attention to it and stir it often, I may not have that same kind of browning that goes on. So as it cooks, I am going to use my spatula to keep going like this, to make sure that as it cooks, I don't have great big meatballs, but I have the crunched up beef, the ground beef, nice and crunched up, sectioned up, cut up, I don't know what to call it. Anyway, I want it to get through all of my tomato sauce when I am doing the lasagna. All right, so that's what I'm going to do often when this is on the stove. I'm also throwing this in now. It'll make it very flavorful. Okay, so there I've got my onion, my garlic, my meat together. Now I'm going to put that on the stove, turn it on, and get that ground beef totally cooked. Now while I'm over here at the oven, I should preheat my oven. Should have done that before, but that's all right. Preheat oven, 350. Bake, 350, got it. Actually, I could probably wait a little bit to turn that oven on to preheat, because at some point the stuff that we're making now has to cook, simmer for 10 minutes. All right, and that way it blends all those flavors together. Okay, that's after the tomato sauce. But now that that's cooking, now it's time to get the rest of the things ready to go. After the meat is totally brown, I'm going to need my tomato sauce. So I have my tomato sauce, okay, for about 45 ounces. This is 29 ounces. That one says it's 15 ounces, so it's about the 45. I'm good with it. You can use less if you want. I just haven't. So I guess I like mine a little more tomato saucy than some of the recipes I've seen. Okay, so I am going to open this one. My can opener happens to be the top one. It gives me a nice big top to work with. I'm listening for when it goes pop. Ah, there it went. Okay, and I do it again just because sometimes it doesn't work totally well. All right, so there's my tomato sauce. Pretty sure its top is off. Good. Goes in the sink because we rinse and recycle the cans. If you need to throw it away, do that. Okay. Good. Now, I'm going to get me a spoon, or a spatula. Let me make a decision real fast on how I want to do this. I will grab a spoon and I'll use it in a little bit to dump this all in to scrape the sides because I don't know, that's just what I do. I don't know, you don't have to scrape the sides if you don't want to. Alright, so there's that. Oh, and see, I have my lid ready to go on this pan once it's time for tomato sauce. Okay, so that is ready. Now, what do we get ready? Well, guess what? We're going to get all the spices ready. I like to put them in a container, a small bowl. This, you know, it's a ramekin, but I also have other small things. You know, just a little plastic thing, that's fine too. But, you know, I like the ramekins. Maybe they make me feel like a real cook or something. I don't know. Anyway, here we go. So, we are supposed to have, once that's all done, tomato sauce goes in, so do these, so do the spices. And of course, I forgot my spoons here, but that's all right. They're handy. Okay, a tablespoon of parsley. Okay, I've got my parsley ready. And 1 tablespoon. The big T stands for tablespoon. So there's the parsley. Done and done. What else do we need? We need a teaspoon of salt. I have my salt. I need my teaspoon right there. There's my teaspoon. It says 1 teaspoon on it. Make sure you're reading your teaspoons. Don't get a teaspoon and a tablespoon mixed up. If you get those two mixed up, then that could be an interesting flavor. I don't know. There are happy accidents. Half a teaspoon of basil and half to 1 teaspoon of oregano. I love oregano. I'm doing 1 teaspoon, not half a teaspoon. Now I'm going to backtrack and get that half teaspoon of basil. Smells so good. I'm just leaning here instead of sitting. I have my stool so you can see me. All right, where's my half? There is my half, right? Right? Okay, I checked it. I'm good to go. And basil. Talk about Italian seasoning. Which reminds me, if you happen to have Italian seasoning, you could probably use it all for this, except for maybe the salt. And then you would have to have what? 1 tablespoon? You know what? Use what's on the list. No? Okay. If you have Italian seasoning, then you would need about 1, 2, 3, about 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning, just so that you know, along with salt. Oh, wait, not 2 tablespoons, 1.5 tablespoons, 1.5, yeah, if you happen to have the spice called Italian seasoning, you need about 1.5 tablespoons of the Italian seasoning, and then you'd be fine. But you'd still have to use the salt. Okay, so that's ready to go. I've got that meat cooking, gonna stir it around, fling out onion as I do this too enthusiastically. Don't be too enthusiastic, things start to fly then. Okay, put that onion right back in. There we go, go meat. Okay, good. All right, now I've got that done. What else am I going to need? That's actually it for a while. So, the next thing is make sure that you have your pan ready. And then we'll do the layering. Don't cook the noodles, resist. And I will come back on when my meat is cooked and show you putting stuff in the pan, which you could probably figure out without me, but hey, it's fun. All right, so let your meat cook and take time to clean up. Okay, so my meat is brown. I'll show you. Maybe think the reason this meat sticks to the bottom of my pan is maybe I cook it too long on a regular basis. Okay, now if you had meat, ground beef, that, and you can use ground turkey too. Anyway, if you had ground beef that is super liquidy, lots of fats come off of it, then you're going to want to get rid of some of the fat. Now this is hot, so you have to be careful. If this had a lot of fat, juices to it, I'll either keep it and not worry about it, or I drain off a little bit. So I do happen to have a strainer that I could use. I put it over the sink. You can have someone hold it for you, or you could hold it while they drain off the meat. You can pour all the meat in there, or you can just pour, try to hold the pan and just lean it a little so most of it gets drained, and only the sieve only needs to catch a little bit of the meat. Just be careful. It's hot, right? Yeah, let's be careful with that. All right, so my meat is ready to go. Of all things, I took my tomato sauce over there, so I can show you over there, but here. So I just dump it in. Yay, all right. There's my 29 fluid ounces. How did they do that? 29, you couldn't go with 30? All right. So there I am with my tomato sauce. Like I said, I like scooping out most of it. Don't want any of those 29 ounces to go to waste, right? Okay, or 15. Okay, so there we go. Got it. So I'm going to stir that around. And what do I need next? I need those spices. My stove is still on, so it's ready. I'm going to fling these all over into my tomato sauce, and I'm going to stir it around some more. Woohoo! What fun, right? Now, ordinarily, I would do this while it's just sitting on the stove, so it would still be getting warm. But I wanted to show you guys without hauling my computer with the camera all the way over to the stove. So here we go. So there it is. Now I'm going to put this back onto the stove. I'm going to let it start simmering again, and it shouldn't take long. And we're not going to watch it simmer, okay? We've got the meat, we've got the stove, it'll be fine. We're going to let that simmer up and get those flavors really good. Now I'm not going to need this at this point, so or am I? Only if I want to stir it. I don't usually stir it, but I'm going to put it in the sink. I'm going to put the lid over the top, and I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes. There we go. Now, I notice that this is really high. I don't want it high. Simmer is a low boil, not a high boil where all the tomatoes will go splashing out if the lid weren't there. I want this to simmer. So I'm turning it down so it comes to a low boil. Now if you want to leave yours up, that may be the best bet. Leave it up until it comes back to a boil, and then turn it down so that it's just this little low sizzling sound. Okay? So, 10 minutes simmering, and we'll be back. Okay, it's about to go off. Now's the fun part. It's the layering. I've got myself an extra cup so that I can scoop up the tomato sauce meat mixture thing. Okay, so, oh, don't need that. I need to turn that off. Lid is hot. Watch out. Make sure you don't get the steam towards you like that. Get the steam away from you. All right, I like to turn my lid over because then it's not hot on my counter, but great, it's not hot at all. All right, here we go. So I put a pot holder down because this is hot, hot, hot. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of stir it around with my scoop. Now, during that time, during that 10 minutes, I hope you remember to clean up a little more. All right. I managed to get some cleanup stuff done too. Rinse the tomato cans, wash some of the other utensils I've been using. All right. Okay, we are ready. Now, in layers, here's what we're going to do. First of all, a thin layer of meat sauce. So I need it at the bottom of the pan. You can feel a tiny little hair on me. I hate it when that happens. Okay. So, whoa, don't lose that into the sauce, the hot sauce. So I shake it around to even it out on the bottom. It just wants a thin layer of meat sauce. I'm going to do a little more of that, more juice than meat this time around. Okay, there, I got it. Now, you are going to put in a layer of noodles. Watch this. So I take out my noodle. That's not flippy floppy. I kind of push it down a little bit into the meat sauce. I don't get it all the way to the edge. I mean, I'm not right up against the edge of the pan. Okay, so now I start the breaking part because I still have this strip right here that needs to be done. I'll turn this around so you can see. Can you see it? No, of course not. Yes, you can. Yeah, that strip there. Okay. So I just break them. Oh, great. There we go. So I'll just put a little bit right there and a little bit right there. Okay. And then this little bit can go right there. Okay. You know, there was once that I helped make lasagna when I was about, I don't know, in my teens, right? And, oops. And all I knew is you had to cook the noodles beforehand, and they were slippery and hot. And then when I was in college, a friend of mine, okay, I dropped one on the floor. Guess what? It doesn't go into this one. I'm showing you good manners. Ordinarily, I would probably do the 10-second rule and use it anyway. All right. Then a college friend said, oh, come on over. We'll make lasagna. And I said, oh, okay. And she had the noodles. And I said, are we going to bake the noodles? And she goes, oh, no. I always do it this way. And sure enough, she did not bake the noodles. It came out just as good as if we had baked the noodles. I've never used whole wheat noodles before, so you never know. That might be different, and maybe I should have cooked the noodles. Don't know, but I'm going to do it my way this time around. If it doesn't work, then I'll change that, okay? And the other thing is, what was I going to tell you? Don't cook the noodles. You put it in like this. They'll cook. They'll be fine. Now what layer do we need? We need all the cottage cheese mixture, it says. So we put the noodles. Now all the cottage cheese mixture, I just kind of spread it down the line. And then I spread it out a little bit as best I can. So that all the noodles have a little bit of cottage cheese mixture on them. Now we need half the mozzarella cheese. That's a lot, but that's what we're going to do. Half of whatever it was that you shredded, that is what goes next. Okay, good. Done with that. Cheese. Wow, I got a lot of cheese. Maybe I won't use all of this, but in the meantime, let's see what happens. I'm trying to spread it out even to the corners, in the middle and at the corners, and now I'm seeing my cheese disappear, so I can see why I want half the not cottage cheese, half the mozzarella cheese, because yeah, I want this all over. I got clumps in here, so I'm trying to undo my clumps a little bit. I think that'll work. Whoever gets this piece is going to have lots of cheese right there. Maybe I'll get it. Be lucky. Okay. Haha, paper towel. Now, after that, after the mozzarella cheese, we're going to do half the meat sauce. So guess what? You're going to have to guess half the meat sauce, okay? Let me look at it, and I think I need about yay much. Are you seeing this? So, you know, if I think in terms of this much needs to be left and this much needs to be scooped up and poured in, it's just harder to keep it separate while I'm trying to measure this out. Okay, there's some of the meat sauce. Here's more of the meat sauce. Like I said, I'm guessing, guys. I am guessing at half the meat sauce. And I better stop guessing because I'm thinking I don't have a lot of meat sauce left. So again, what am I going to do? I'm going to kind of spread that out a little bit. There we go. Look at that. Are you smelling it? Are you wishing it was done? I know I am. Now if you hate lasagna, I'm so sorry that you're having to watch this, or that you are watching this. But if you love lasagna, or maybe it's your family that loves lasagna, once we get that half of the remaining meat sauce on, it's time for noodles again. Again, I am just placing it straight down and sticking it in. Straight down and sticking it in. You know, once my college friend taught me this, I have never baked noodles ever since. I've had so many people go, no, we have to bake the noodles. I said, don't do it. Don't bake those noodles. And sure enough, they're always amazed. Wow, we didn't bake the noodles. Exactly. Now, I noticed when I went looking for my whole wheat lasagna noodles that they now have on the shelf ready to bake lasagna noodles, which means you don't boil them. And I thought, oh, you people are cheating us, cheating. All these years I've had to put up with people telling me, oh, but we must bake the noodles. And I say, no, don't do it. And now they don't have to, boil the noodles. And now they don't have to, because now they have a product that doesn't take boiling of the noodles. What do we need next? So we did another layer of noodles. Oh, and then if you're doing zucchini or mushrooms, just spread it out so that you're covering that layer with whatever you've chosen as your noodles, okay? All right, so what's next? Next is all the remaining meat sauce. Do I need to scoop it at this point? Only if my pan is too heavy. It's not too heavy. So here we go. I'm just going to pour it all up and down, try to semi-even it out, even though I know I'm going to spread it out. Looks like I'm going to be able to, I could have used more on that half of the remaining meat sauce, but that's okay. I don't mind having more meat sauce right up on the top there. No, I'm wrong. I guess I estimated it just right, because this is spreading around just like the last layer. And it feels like it's just about the same depth of meat sauce here. Come on. I want that noodle to be covered. Okay. And the reason why I like to have the noodles covered is because the ones that are sticking out will brown up. and they'll stay a little bit hard. Not a lot, but you know, they're different. So I try to make sure that I cover those noodles, and I want all this tomato sauce, meat sauce concoction here. Okay, there we go. Now, it is time for all the remaining mozzarella. Another layer. Is this cheesy or what? Did you know that it was this cheesy? Lasagna is cheesy, cheesy, cheesy. If you're allergic to dairy, having lasagna may not be a good idea. Okay, there we go. Alright, well, I wasn't going to use all the cheese, but now I can't stop myself from using the rest of the cheese. Oh yeah. Okay, now after that, there we go. After that, we have to put in the Parmesan cheese, and it is about a 1/4 cup. So I just put my 1/4 cup in there, and then I sprinkle it back and forth. Now this happens to have really chunky Parmesan cheese in it, and I just squish the chunks. It falls apart fairly easily. Go Parmesan. Oh my goodness sakes alive. This is going to be so good. Okay, there we go. Done and done. Thank you very much. Now guess what? It is time for this to go into the oven. You're going to let it sit, cook, bake, yeah, for 30 minutes. And then when it comes out, you're going to let it rest for 10. In other words, it needs to sit for a little bit so it's not so hot that you burn your mouth right off. So 30 minutes in the oven. I'll put it in the oven so we know what we're doing. 30 minutes in that preheated 350-degree oven. See, mine's 350. You probably can't see it from there, but that's all right. Zoom in. I don't know. Okay, 30 minutes. Clean up whatever you've still got out. I'll clean up the rest of this and my Parmesan cheese and the one that fell on the floor. I'll get that cleaned up. My pan is a mess. I still have itty bitty little garlic pieces. No, those are cheese pieces. Yeah, that was cheese pieces that are laying around. Okay, so I'll see you in 30 minutes. Clean up. My timer just went off. Gonna turn off the stove. Using pot holders. This stuff is hot. Gonna set it on my stove to begin with so I can get a couple of things down and bring that over here. My lasagna so you can see it. Okay? And there we go. Oh, I hope yours is just as lovely and smells just as good. 10 minutes. That's all you've got. So, set your timer for 10 minutes. It finishes its cooking, soaking, I don't know what it's called. It finishes up and keeps you from burning your mouth on the cheese, too. So, 10 minutes. Okay, good. Oh, go. Good. So we've got 10 minutes, and in that time, it's like, well, now what do I do? You warn your family that they've got 10 minutes. Get your plates out. Get your forks out. Are you going to have water, milk? What are you going to have? Clean up any last-minute items. Be sure to get napkins for everybody. They'll probably need it. Don't you love background noises like phones ringing in the middle of your baking show? I don't know what's with that. Okay, so I've got napkins for us. I've got some forks ready. Okay, I'm leaving that to do its thing. Now what did I need? Cups. Oh yes. What do I want to drink? We'll just drink water. So I have our water bottles already on the table. So that will be that, and we'll be able to eat that. So how many minutes do I have left? I have about just over 8 minutes. So guys, let it sit. Get your family's dinner ready to go, and I'll be right back. Well, okay, 8 minutes. How many? Yeah. Just over 8 minutes. See you in a little bit. The timer, it went off. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes. First thing I'm going to do is show you. I'm going to cut into this a little bit. I better put it on my plate. Because what I wanted to do is show you the noodles. Oh, that's a big noodle left over, right? But it is soft. It is ready. Oh, this is good. Okay. The whole wheat noodles did not soften as much as regular noodles have in the past. But that's okay, because generally I'm using zucchini and mushrooms anyway nowadays. But if you're using regular noodles, they should be pretty soft, okay? And next time maybe I would make it a little longer in the oven for the whole wheat noodles. But in the meantime, I am so eating this. It doesn't matter that they're a little bit not as soft. They're a little more chewy. I'm good with it. They don't have to be absolutely soft and perfect. So now it's time to scoop it up. So what I do, I cut it with my spatula. I just go through and make as many as I need, right? But for me and my husband, well, that's about it. And you know what? I love lasagna. I am sorry. I am eating half and he's eating the other half of this strip, because we both love lasagna. So I will put this right there. Ooh, missed some of that cheese and a noodle. Can't do that now, can we? Nope. There we go. So there's that. And here's this strip right here. Hopefully I cut it well. Ah! Coming apart. That's the way it goes, right? Yes. All right, you guys. There you go. Enjoy your lasagna. And I will talk to you again next time. Bye now.